Well, welcome to my class. Before starting the official class, let's have a small talk about craft. Just hope we can have a correct attitude towards craft. It could be DIY, like something can do with kids, or something relaxing. When we are off work, crafting is quite immersive. If you can choose a craft you like, that's really a happy thing. Including music can be a craft. Making leather goods is also a craft. Woodworking is a craft. Knitting is a craft. Everyone has different hobbies. No right or wrong, no highs and lows. When you learn the craft to perfection, the hobby can make money. Some people make money by doing crafts. He can upgrade the materials, upgrade tool, upgrade equipment. Some people, he can only spend money continuously when making this product. Including playing games is also a kind of handicraft. It's just a different way of craft. There's no need to think about what's right or wrong. There are no standards for judging many things. So if you really like leathercraft, then you just follow me, because I started the leathercraft for many years. 一点not在 how will I did? But I think I've been through a lot of pitfalls, from various techniques to various devices, from factory to studio. I've experienced it all. I quite agree with one sentence. What are experts? What is an expert in a field? This does not mean that he is successful or accomplished in this field. But has he experienced all the pitfalls in this field? If he went through all the pitfalls, then he is an expert in his field. So I am qualified to get you started or take you to the next level. It's completely fine. Handmade leather goods have been developed in China for many years. Exactly. There are 10 or 20 years. I don't remember exactly which it was. I used to be quite willing to pay attention to some details. Later, I become unwilling to memorize some parameters, such as understand the properties of some steel, including the ratio of manganese, chromium, magnesium, leads to different properties of steel. Very detailed knowledge. That's wrong. Therefore, what kind of steel is this knife made of? It's not important now for me. I just need to know whether it works well or not. Because I make leather products. Don't make knives. In short, just hope I can share my previous experience, my understanding, through a systematic course and share it with you. Keep you from unnecessary loss. After all, at my current age, you hope to pass on something. It's not teaching. I prefer to say it's sharing in depth. Let's get started. We will start individual skills from this notebook cover, including knowing leather, foot treatment, pasting, punch stitching out, stitching, and the sewn thread and wool latch, also including hardware installation. We will practice all the above skills through this little stuff. Connect all the basic skills together. When we practice, it would be nice to make something useful, better than just practicing, without any finished product. When I just started with leathercraft, I made card holder first, and then short wallet, long wallet, zipper clutch to bucket bag. This is how I came all the way. Nowadays, card holders and wallets are rarely used, so we will not start from those outdated items. Maybe overseas markets are still using card holders, so we will pick some designs later. To practice those items, they must be interesting designs. So in our course, we will start from zero experience, from beginner, because my apprentice is a beginner, has no experience in leathercraft. Okay, when we started from theory, we talk leather materials, right? It is divided from animals, cowhide, sheepskin, pigskin, etc., napa, toggle pattern, pebble pattern, etc. It's hard to explain these materials clearly through the course, because it's different between seeing and touching. So if there is a chance, try leather materials as much as possible. Make all leather goods, whether it is a small item or a large bag. It must be for major steps: cutting, bonding, stitching, and wool latch. Every step counts, because each step is the foundation for the next. You know, if your floor is crooked, the second floor is difficult to build. There is a core step. You have to be conscious. That is the leather thickness control. The thickness is important no matter it's leather or excipients. Let's start with cutting. Cutting is nothing more than cutting straight lines and cutting arcs, because straight or arc lines can be made into any geometry. No matter how complex the product is, you can take it apart into its smallest components. Each unit part is basically geometric. It's not like making shoes. There are many arcs at different spaces. It may not even be on the same surface. It's a solid curve, a little more complicated. Compared to making shoes, bag is relatively simple. Okay, start with cutting. Sounds simple, but after all these years of experience, I see a lot of friends often have issues in cutting. Their basic cutting skills are not good, resulting in a crooked problem in finished product. Or even worse, the final product can't be sewn together. So cutting is simple and important. I hope you pay attention. Now let's talk about how to cut. A sharp cutting knife for cutting is definitely a prop. You can also use a utility knife. In fact, the utility knife can handle about 90% jobs. This cutting knife just acts as a supplement. It's not a question of which is good or bad. If you are used to cutting knife, it's okay to leave more jobs to it. This cutting knife just needs more practice. I think the nature of the tool is efficiency and a better guarantee for the result. It doesn't matter what you use. It depends on your personal preference. Let's keep talking. Making leather products. First, we need a pattern. There are many types of the pattern, mainly 3 types. One is a PDF, download it, print, paste it, and then cut it yourself. The advantage is cheap, easy to obtain, but it's uncertain whether the pattern is accurate. Also, it takes a lot of time from printing to cutting. Maybe it will take you for 2 to 5 hours from printing to cutting. If your pattern is cut crookedly or wrong, you'll need to start it again. People may have different considerations. This is the advantage and disadvantage of PDF. Kraft pattern is basically laser cut. Well, it's more accurate. You can use it directly. But it also has shortcomings. How to reuse. It's hard to make 10 to 20 bags from one Kraft pattern. Third type of the pattern is acrylic template, directly cut by laser. Acrylic is transparent and harder. It can be reused. The first disadvantage is that it is expensive. The second is that transportation costs are very high. Third, the damage to the laser machine is huge. So acrylic templates are normally used to make some simpler bags. 3 or 2 templates for making a simple bag are okay. Therefore, I prefer to use laser cut craft paper pattern. If I mass produce, I will choose knife molds. I won't embarrass my own hands, because when you make something to sell, it's commercialization. What I need to consider in this process is the production cost. There are also labor costs. At this time, the cost of the knife mold is particularly cost-effective. Another 2 disadvantages of the laser cut craft pattern. The laser cut craft pattern. First, if I put double-sided tape at the back, when it's torn off, all the pattern will stick to each other, which affects the next use. In this case, I suggest using a masking paper paste at the back of the new patterns. If you plan to use the pattern for times, just paste it all over the bag, especially where there are stitching holes. We will get to advantages from this step. First, the double-sided tape can be pasted on masking paper directly. It will not damage the pattern when it is removed later. This will prolong the service life of the pattern. Second, if you paste the pattern on the leather and punch stitching holes directly, it will leave a lot of black marks. The lasers are like flames, burn through the stuff. There will definitely be some carbonization fiber transferring to your leather. It will cause a dirty and mushy feeling to your leather. At this time, if you put on masking paper before punching, it will be much cleaner. After pasting, correct it a little bit. Of course, you can also choose a narrower masking paper. Okay, after cutting, you can put double-sided tape on it. There are usually 2 kinds of double-sided tape. One is Chinese made, it's very cheap, 2 or 3 RMB per roll. Another one is US made 3M. Usually I choose 3M because it has 2 advantages. First, it's stronger. Second, the glue will not be transferred. What is glue transfer? Means that the glue will transfer to the leather surface. After tearing it off, the sticky leather feels very bad. It will take some effort to remove. I think my time is worth more than this 3M tape. So then I will choose a better tape. Sometimes you can't focus on saving money, cause it may cause you more losses. Try to paste more tape. This ensures the stability of the pattern. Don't paste on the leather immediately, because the adhesion is strong at present. The coating of some leather will be damaged easily. Use this fiber-sided scrap leather to reduce its viscosity. This is double-sided tape with strong adhesion. We can reduce viscosity, but if you use low adhesion double-sided tape, it's hard for you to increase its viscosity. Put the pattern on leather, cut the leather on it, When cutting, we use a utility knife as an example. We're going to cut a straight line. Try not to shake. The stability of the hand controls the cutting effect. When cutting straight lines, the whole hand acts as a big pedestal. Get down. This way it is more stable when cutting straight lines. The index finger and thumb provide a clamping force. The index finger provides a downward force. With 3 points of control like this, the knife can be well stabilized. That's first reminding. Secondly, try to let the knife lay down as much as possible. However, the blade should not be exposed for too long. If the blade is exposed too long, it will shake. Put your hand a little backwards. When cutting straight lines, use the blade part instead of the tip of a knife. If your blade is stretched out too long and the palm is hanging in the air, it will be a very unstable state. So get your hand down. Index finger out. Shorten the blade a bit. Basically, it is one section of the utility knife. Expose one section of the blade is enough. Okay, put your hand a little bit backwards. After lying down, make sure it is vertical. Don't tilt the blade like this. Don't lean like that. That's the basic idea. Get down and cut the straight lines on all sides first. Don't cut it off at one time. No need. We can divide it several times. Cut the straight line first, then cut the arc area. Cutting arc area, like this one belongs to the outer arc. There's an inner arc. Let's talk about the inner arc later. 2 ways to cut the outer arc. One is to divide it into many line segments. Cut it one by one. It doesn't matter if the cutting is a little incoherent. We can sand it with sandpaper. There is another method to cut outer arc. Stand up the knife. The bigger the arc, the higher the degree of knife standing. Up to 90 degrees or close to 90 degrees. Also cut slowly. Spend a few more times. If you feel that the knife is not very sharp, just break off a section. No need to spend time sharpening the blade, right? So when it's not sharp, break it off, cut with a sharper one. These 4 corners, stand up a little bit, cut it one by one. Which method works better? Well, depends. It all requires a little practice. But in terms of results, I prefer to cut one by one like this. When cutting, the knife must be vertical. Don't skim outwards. Don't dig in either. If you can't cut this edge well, it will be difficult to allege. Normally, 5 to 6 knives for a rounded corner is enough. The corner can transition very naturally after finishing the cutting. Let's check again. Don't tear it off too quickly. If the cutting is not very good, we can fix it again. Okay, this bottom leather has finished. Take it off. Remove this double-sided tape. This is the bottom leather. Let's move on to the next one. Cut this corner. You can also use the cutting knife. Maintain a certain inclination slightly. Cut it like this. But that will hurt the cutting board, so it's up to you. After cutting, we open it up. If the double-sided tape falls off, just tear it off. This bottom leather has been pasted with web tacks, which are made by Maya printers. Sometimes, a lot of practice you may think it easy, and think I talk too much. But when you actually get started, you'll understand it's necessary. What you see and what you did are 2 different ways of learning. If you just watch, even watch a lot of videos, they look like it's easy, but it's not that easy in practice. Then you may lose patience. It is easy to cause a huge psychological gap. So no matter in which industry, a master is born after numerous hours of practice and dedication. No one who was born to do well. Here I would like to remind, when my apprentice cut the straight line, he found a problem. The knife is pressed down flatly first. Lift this end up slightly. Cut like this. See this blade? Lift 1/3 and cut with 2/3 blade. No need to lift too much. When cutting a straight line, try to get the knife down, but don't cut completely close. It's hard to cut if you cut completely against it, because this place has a lot of resistance. Imagine this is the cutting board. When cutting along, the end of knife should be lifted up. Pull it like this. These 4 fingers give a grip strength. This hand gives a push. Slash like this. Don't pull it like this. It's laborious to pull like this. This is the first reminder. After cutting a length, about 40 cm, swing it twice to sand the blade. This is one of the good work habits. Okay, cut it vertically first. Then lift the tip of the knife on the side near the wrist a little bit. Don't lift it up too much. If lifted too much, it will be easily cut into arcs. Just lift it a little bit. Cut slowly. Don't hurry at first. We need the right posture and feeling, not efficiency at the beginning. After cutting about 40 centimeters, Let's sand the blade. Just sand it lightly. Just repeat it. This little stuff. Let's analyze the structure first. Leather bottom, leather top plus bolt details. These steps make it more layered. Regards to bolt details, I will use different supporting materials, excipients, so we can understand the difference in the results. Most of the time, excipients are complicated topics because they're interchangeable. When can it be replaced? When can't it be replaced? Since there are a lot of types, they can be interchanged, so they can be arranged into many combinations. If you don't have a correct concept of excipients, you may feel limited to certain parts of the product. You may think it's not ready to change. At this time, your mind must be open to have an ability to use excipients flexibly. It's based on your understanding and knowledge of excipients. There are only a few commonly used excipients. You can buy each of them or contact us for a small piece of sample. If you need it, make a sample book so you can feel their hardness, their touch, their directionality, and malleability. Just these considerations. Okay, the bottom leather is hardened by 0.4 mm web packs. There are many kinds of leather materials I choose: Togo, plain pattern, and Epsom leather, French gold, and Napa. The bottom leather needs to have a certain stiffness. So when you need a flat stiffness, Webtex is definitely the optimal solution. So I add 0.4 毫米 Webtex, but I don't want it to be as hard as a brick, without soft touch. Therefore, when I add Webtex, I will add other excipients to get different touch feeling, so as to reach different effect. This is small fiber leather. During the entire cutting process, we can feel a difference among excipients. Like large fiber leather, it's very hard. Both of them are made of microfiber. It contains a certain amount of leather. The small fiber leather is softer, say 1.0 毫米 thickness. The feeling between them are completely different. This large fiber leather has a bit of a box leather feel, but it's lighter than a box leather. There is also a certain direction. It has certain ductility resistance. This small fiber leather is softer. The ductility resistance is relatively weak. In this way, the large fiber leather can be cut much easier, thanks for its hardness. So we can provide a bag with a better support and stiffness. And it's much lighter than a box leather of the same size. It helps us reduce the weight of the bag. So when I can use excipients, I will not choose leather. The chemical and physical characteristic of excipients is more stable than leather. Unlike leather, it has contractility. The leather will deform after absorbing water. And thirdly, the leather is heavier. Fourth, the density of leather is uneven. Same piece of leather, the density may be different in parts. Small fiber leather is often used on twinning bags or softer bags. Large fiber leather is used to make some firm bags or semi-firm bags. This is their difference. What they have in common is, if we do a flat surface, then they can replace each other, because if it is not needed to provide support. The only difference is that they offer different feeling. Small fiber leather is softer. Large fiber leather is stiffer, more stylish. Then at this time, they can be interchanged. The criteria must be considered when selecting excipients. First, what feel do you need? What does it do? Is it supporter, protective or feel? The second is thickness adjustment. Cut the excipient slowly. During the cutting process, we can focus on feeling the characteristics of excipients. This is talon. Talon has a very clear direction. It's very easy to bend in this direction. It's hard to bend in this direction. Talon has an obvious direction. So when to use it, we will talk more details in the integrated skill lesson. In this lesson, we summarize for excipients to have an intuitive concept and feeling first.